Good thing you got the knight in the last mission, because you're going to need him in this mission. Taking stock at extreme difficulty. It's going to be tough. And the first thing you have to do is split your party in two. So the way I split it is for the water storage, it has the knight, barbarian, mage, and the ranger. The rest of them go to the windmill. Now it starts off with you just at some little farm here, fighting it out, and nothing really notable happens. It's pretty easy for you to just knock these guys out. But what's important is how you position yourselves. You want to put the knight near the little gate, the opening between the fence here, and then put the other three characters a little closer to the water tower. And then later on, there will be a big ogre coming out, and then you can group everybody together near the gate here, or the opening. And it's important to keep them together, and when you can, put a blue dice on the knight. Also, what's important in this mission is before you start it, is to load up on health and the shield. You're going to need the shield later, so save that. And you're going to have two different kind of healths that you can put in your 3-slot backpack. You can put in the one that gives you 5 health, and then you can put in the one that gives you 2. Put both of them in there. And of course, you should have enough shields, maybe 10. You're going to need every one of those later on. So watch this, see how it goes, and I'll come back when the ogre comes out. So now Mr. Ogre has reared his ugly head, and you can see him behind the water tower there. He'll come right after the character that has the most Argo, which in this case is your knight. So he's going to come down by that rock and go towards the opening that the knight's guarding right now. What you can do is you can get the mage over there, lay down another little barbecue pit of fire so that he'll walk into that'll help whittle him down, and then move the knight up a little bit closer to the fence, and then he can also have the barbarian there, and they can seal off the fence right there. I would put the barbarian a little bit more to the south since he's got a little more range and a little less armor, and then you can have the knight just face tank Mr. Ogre. Behind him I would keep the ranger and the mage. Mage is the only healing you have at 2 heals each time, so make sure she doesn't get killed. And once again, just block it off down there and mow them down. Should be quite easy. Okay, I'll be back. So now here's the next phase. This part's called the windmill. What you have to do here is get one of the characters up there to knock on a door, and then they'll release one of the villagers, and then in next turn they'll release two, and in a turn or two after that they'll release a fourth villager. Then you have to provide safe passage for the villagers to make it all the way down to the starting position where your characters are right now. So best thing to do is just get the paladin and Candy to go all the way up to the top. Put the cleric maybe in the middle or close enough to heal them. What's going to happen is after you clear these guys out at the top of the screen near the house, they're going to have bad guys come from both sides. And that's why you want to leave the warrior down near the bottom, so that character can hold them off. And also, the cleric should be down or in the middle, so she's close enough to lay down a field of fire to knock out the yard trash. Because the last thing you want to have happen is the yard trash, which are like those chuckers. You don't want to have them knock out one of your villagers with a by-the-way shot. So watch a video and take note of it, and I'll be back. Okay, now the villagers are starting to come out. This guy will come out and a few others. Take note of the positions that I've set up to make sure you have safe passages. Enemies are going to come from all areas, and this is the best way you can do it, but you only have to get the villagers out. It's not important to get your characters too. They don't have to make it to the exit zone. So watch this and take note of at the end there will be one villager that will come out of the windmill later. You need to keep the paladin up there and maybe even Candy just to make sure that villager gets out alive. I think it's maybe 1 or 2 turns after the couple comes out. So use the cleric again to lay down some fire traps, lay down some fire on each side, and that should help a lot. And should have no problem with this. Now this mission is a little bit of a race against time mission, but you have to do it correctly. You have 14 rounds to put out each of the fires. So the way I set it up is I put the barbarian on the left and I put the mage on the right. The barbarian can soak up a lot of damage, so you want to get this character to kind of clear the way for the mage and accumulate the Argo so the bad guys chase him. And then the mage will start by putting out the fire on the right and work her way to the left. Keep track of your time. The reason why you want to work from the right to the left is because the bad guys all come out from the left and they bunch up and there's a lot of them. And the barbarian is a good character to use to knock him out because he can reach two at a time with the lance. You have to be careful about the mage's health. She doesn't have any armor at all, and you may need to boost the barbarian's health with the soda can or maybe one shield, but it's best to try to save the shields for the next mission, which is going to be much tougher. So just follow this and you should have no problem at all. Now this is the final battle right here. And you notice there's a ton of enemies everywhere. But you've got one thing going for you. Now it doesn't seem obvious. You may think, well, I got to go in there and rush in. But the best way to do this is to just stay right at the doorway right here and use the knight. And the way I did it was move the knight up one square. Beside him goes the warrior, and beside him on the right goes the paladin, and then the cleric goes behind, and same with the ranger and barbarian. The priority for the dice, as you can see, is the knight should get a blue, followed by the cleric getting a blue. Then you should go and put shields on both of the two tanks, the paladin and the fighter. And then whatever you do in the back isn't as important. And the reason why you want to do this is because these guys are going to come down here, and you want them to continually attack the knight. They're not going to be able to kill him because he has so many shields on him and his good armor. And you're going to lay down make a barbecue pit right in front of him by using the cleric's fire spell ability. She's going to lay down fire in front. And for those bad guys that have a lot of shield and high defense, the debuff of the fire is going to be able to wear them down. And that's really important because the ranger's not going to be able to do a lot of damage, nor is Candy. So your only source of damage are going to be the paladin and the knight, a little bit with the fighter because he can affect them with the bleed. But other than that, it's going to be the fire. So every turn, you want to have the cleric laying down fire right in front. And you'll see why. Here they come. Now, the funny thing is you think, well, we got to kill 30 of them. But you know what? That's going to happen in like 2 or 3 turns if you do it right. So just watch. You'll see how it goes. And after we kill 30 of them, the big bad boss is going to come out. And he's going to be much, much, much tougher. And is going to get a little bit close. But take note of how this is done in a sequence in which it's played out, and you should be okay. And I'll be back when the boss comes out. Okay, Big Boss has been triggered after 30 kills, and he's way up there by the spawn point. You can't see him right now, but if you hover over, you'll see he has lots of shields, lots of armor, and lots of hit points too. You'll also notice my team here hasn't moved at all. And we're going to keep this position. We're not going to move a muscle. We're just going to stay here, create a little barbecue pit in the front, and let them walk right into it. And it's still going to be close. I'm just going to mow them down. Let them just grind themselves to death on the night here. So watch, and he'll get down there. And when he gets down there and it gets kind of close, maybe he gets down to about 25%, he loses about 25% health, and I'll come back. But just keep this formation, keep the sequence of events, and should have no problem taking them out. And also take note of when I put the shields on them. There's going to be a time where it gets a little bit close, but I'm going to use the health and I'm going to use the shields. Okay, I'll see you when he gets down there. Well, here's Big Boss. He's there and all, right in front. But not much he can do behind there. If he were face to face, he could really lay a heavy one on you. But back behind these other guys, he can't really do a whole lot. And I thought about this a little bit. If I would have kept him there a little bit longer and just used fire to burn him up, he would probably burn to death before he could even touch you. Because these other guys in front here, they don't really hit too hard. They don't hit anywhere as hard as him, and they probably can't kill your guys. And the cleric can just heal you and keep you up. And you could, heal yourself with some potions. And back there, he would just get cooked. But you'll see, once he gets through, I kind of make a mistake and let him get through. He really lays a heavy one on us. So there he goes. He goes through the fire and he's getting cooked, and they're all getting cooked. So now this is where it's getting a little close. Like, uh-oh, what happened? And they're putting a little damage on me, and there's a chance that I can lose the paladin, but I heal him up. If I were to lose him, I would move Candy in there and just pray to God I could hang on for a few turns. Now your priority in this mission here at this point should be to go right after Dragonblade, Bone, whatever his name is, and go after him and try to whittle him down. And that's with the fire, everything you've got. In fact, what I did is I opened with the archer to try to get his armor down, and she can take a few of his armors off, so that opens the door for other people to lay some damage on her. And also I kill off these other guys too, but keep an eye on how it goes. Close for a little while, but after that we knock him out. After you kill him, that's the end of the mission, and you get a lot of nice little items. Well, not that great, but at least it's something. You get a lot of food and everything. So I hope you like this, and if you did, please hit like or subscribe if you want to see more videos. Thank you.